Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Word back again, and today we're going to be running the Root Rider army once again. I just want to continue giving you guys, some more tips and using this army just a little more to kind of hone it in. And yeah, really just show you the power of this army because I think it'll be the best army by end of season. It's really, really strong if you know how to use it well. So yeah, if you haven't already joined my Discord, because it shows the bases that I've been running, and yes, we've had some great success. Plus 50 yesterday, that's with all defenses. And yeah, we're running it again today, and I've got that in my Discord, which base I'm going to be using. And yeah, without further ado, let's just jump on into the hits and see if we can do this again. Alright, hopping into the next one here. We got an Invis Rage Core, so we've got the Giant Arrow to help with that, but trying to figure out some pathing right here. Where do we got the Fire Spitters? The Fire Spitters are in the core. Maybe if I can get into this hook tower, that would be nice. Just get it out of the way, push into this Gigabomb compartment, which is quite a bit of damage, but I bet you we'll be fine through that. And then, once again, leave out a little bit of damage as we push into the core, do a little bit of work on it. And yeah, that's my plan right here. I like getting into the Clan Castle early, but I just don't think that's best on this space, just because I want to get the hook tower for sure. Yeah, I was going to say, I hope that Fox doesn't get hooked. That'd be really annoying. This might be a baited entry. Looks like we already hit a Giant Bomb. There's no more, but I was going to double cycle to make sure I stayed alive, but there was no more. I'm just going to take a peek right here. Trying to think. You know what? I think I'll get a little bit better. I'm going to... Nice, I pulled the mine, so now I will. I was thinking to try and avoid it by going into the other direction, but since I pulled it right there, I'm still going to just go in right here. Going to make sure I trigger that core. Nice. Valks are coming in now. Oh, I hadn't got the Warden in yet, so make sure I get him in for the Rage Gem. Absolutely. I'm going to be popping the Overgrowth right here, pushing my troops up. Ice Golem's going to be coming in, get a really nice freeze right there. That's just spectacular. And you want to use your Ice Golem surgically like that. Use them in actually good areas and not just like out and about. So we're going to be pushing in nicely to the core right here. Or around the core, sorry, I mean. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, I'll probably leave out a couple buildings here, a lot other than the Town Hall maybe. And that Fire Spitter that's going to be facing me like this. Nice, so I'll be getting a good amount of defenses out of the way from that core, which is always awesome not to leave too much, because yes, if you leave a little bit too much damage out at one spot and stack it up, you're going to be in trouble. So I'm going to use the Heal Tome right here just because my Queen, I want to survive in the core, and who knows if the Red Mine Farm is around here. So my Queen's doing a decent amount of work. I don't like her shooting the wall, though. I'd rather she just gets the multi right there, so that's a little frustrating. But my RC goes invisible again. I was going to say she should be. Now we're into the core right here, which is a little scary, but yeah, my RC is doing alright. I got an invis for her if I want. Getting the headhunters in right here. Here I'll get a freeze, especially onto the builders, to stop them from repairing all the damage I'm doing in the core, but also just to mitigate the Town Hall's damage. And yeah, we're crushing through this one really nicely. My Royal Champion's going to get the rest of this core. I think she'll turn to the Tesla, but then she should come back down. And nope, she didn't quite yet. But yeah, we're more than fine right here on this base. We've absolutely smashed it. I'll pop my, I'll dodge over this with the RC, and then I'll wait for it to come back visible so that my Spiky Ball can target it. But yeah, we're just going to close to the rest of the base, and a nice triple on the Invis Rage Core, so let's keep it going. Alright, hopping into this one. Wow, we get a huge Rage compartment, and this is just not ideal at all for my, double Overgrowth army. This is going to be a tough one. But yes, once again, we're going to be trying our best to try and kind of mitigate the damage that we're going to be facing at one time. So I would like to get an RC charge somehow into that scatter or that Fire Spitter, and I think I could hit a redirect in there. So I'm going to try and do is, after taking down this multi-archer tower, I'm going to try and redirect the air defense out here and hopefully push into that multi-inferno, which I think it will. Not quite yet. So yeah, we're going to be maybe just taking out this... I'm trying to, maybe the air defense. Oh, I didn't get that invis. Where does she go? Right here. Yeah, so she's going to stay right here. With the tornado and all those traps, not going to bother. I'm just going to stop right there. And yeah, this one's going to be definitely a little bit more awkward, but I got to enter right here. Going to use the Giant Arrow to shoot down the side. Incoming Valks. Going to get this troop launcher in right there. RC comes in well behind right here. We should get a really nice Ice Golem value right here, though. And I'm trying to wait for the Rage Tower to go off. There it goes, and now I'll get the Overgrowth. So I get decent value right here with... oh, I didn't think a Furnace came out. Well, that was a bit of a waste by me using my poison on the Ice Golems right there. But as I was mentioning, I'm going to use the Warden Tome as well, just because of all of the Fire Spitters that I'm facing, both of them right here. But yeah, as I was saying, I thought the furnace would have already came out if it was in the clan castle, so I didn't think we were going to be fighting it, but then it came out anyway, and now I didn't have a poison spell, so a little unfortunate for sure. This one's just super tough to get through these you know, giant rage compartments with this army where I'm trying to kind of mitigate the damage throughout. You just can't do that, so I'm trying my best right here, but definitely not an easy one. Gonna pop the RC ability right here so she doesn't get too far forward. I have an invis for her that I probably will use because I want those spears to get some crazy work, but the healers are actually going to be on her right here, so she's going to be okay for a little bit. But yeah, she's going to be taking some damage right here. I think I'm going to invis her. I want to keep her alive, especially if I got these healers on her. She might be able to get this town hall, which would be absolutely massive for me if she did. So it looks like she does right there. I'll get the skeleton spell onto the monolith right there as we push into it with my queen. My queen's kind of my last big push of damage right here, and she's going to be falling behind the root riders, so hope we can get through this one. This is obviously a very tough base, as I mentioned, for this army, but yeah, I think this fire spitter doesn't really have a chance against us, and I just got to try and get a decent headhunter onto this royal champion, and then we should get it. We got the Frosty helping out, especially on this side. The root rider is just going to open up the wall enough for my queen, so yeah, I think this one's going to be a triple, which is nice. Yeah, the queen's actually going to be doing absolutely nothing right here, but yeah, the headhunter does really well on this royal champion. After she takes it down, she should go to the fire spitter, and yep, we'll wrap this one up for a triple. So that's a very nice hit on a really tough base for this army. But yeah, let's keep it going. Alright, the first base here is a double rage base. These are the ones that could be a little tricky, so we got to make sure that we're locked in for this one. We got fire spitters in the core, and this town hall compartment going to be pretty juicy, but I think I'm going to go through it with an overgrowth on the scatter shots. So I want to funnel out one of these multi-archer tower compartments, and I've heard that the royal champion compartment is not usually baited over like the queen compartment, which is the other side of this base. So I'm just trying it here, going right into the royal champion compartment, and it doesn't look too bad. You know, we hit a couple giant bombs right here, but I'm going to hit a single cycle right here, which is awesome, saving some invis spells. Fox is getting a little weak, but we're about half health, so I think we're fine here to take this down. I'm just going to recall after this. I don't need any more value. Oh, I lost my Fox, though. That was weird. But yeah, we're going to be coming in right here. Just going to get a headhunter, get the healers in quickly. Going to get my queen to try and snipe that air sweeper. I didn't quite get it. That's fine. Here I'm going to go in with the overgrowth. Perfectly placed. Nice. Going to get a ice golem down. Haven't got my Valks in yet, so there they go. Nice, we got them actually to go right in, or 3 of them to go right in. I'm going to get my king flanking right here to try and really push into this core. Out comes the furnace that we're fighting. I'm going to freeze right here because it's going to get the air sweeper, town hall, and scatter, but mostly that air sweeper is what I wanted to freeze. When we turn into these spitters eventually right here, I'm going to be trying to, I'm going to first try and funnel this in, but yeah, I'm going to overgrowth this backside because there's just way too much damage in there at the moment for me. So that's really going to try and help me through this. I don't currently have anything on this minion print, so I'm trying to get in a headhunter. Nice. Through the free spell, it gets in right there. My royal champion's working with the king. This one's looking quite good already. My king's rolling around the outside, and I was thinking about wall breaking him in right here, but I don't think it's going to be worth it because my troops are going to clear this compartment, so there's no point wall breaking him into there. I'm just going to be trying to make sure right here that my queen and warden are staying healthy, so that's what I'm trying to do. Queen's got no ability, I guess. I always forget that I have the giant arrow and not the clone, so I do got to be careful because she doesn't have anything else. I'll wall break my king in right here. My queen, I don't think it's worth. I'll try and invis her, but I actually wasted that fully right there. So we'll see what we can do right here through this, but I didn't really have any kind of invis value to help my RC or queen through that compartment. And my king's not going to be able to reach the monolith, so this one's looking a bit grim, to be honest with you. Don't know if we're going to get this one, and I don't think that barb is going to actually get the expo either, so I might have wasted that barb as well. But obviously we're trying our best right here to finish this one. It's going to be so close, though. I'm going to use the spiky ball to get help in the monolith in the core there, not get it, but help out on it. I don't have the Frosty anymore. The snakes are trying their best on the monolith as well, but I don't know if we're quite going to get it down right here. I mean, the snakes are putting in so much work on this base right here. They're going through the walls. The headhunter almost clutches on the monolith. It's 1 HP. And to be honest, I think we'd get through this one just because of the power of the snakes, but it looks like we're going to be time failing it because we can't quite get through the storage and stuff. But yeah, that's a tough base to get through this double rage, but I definitely could have done a better job with my royal champion. and using her optimally, but we are going to get a time fail on this one. A little unfortunate after the streak that I've been on, but yeah, we're going to keep rolling and see if we can just get the rest of the day well. Alright, this base right here, we've got fire spitters pointing around, and I'd like to enter into the back of it or to the side of it, unless I charge it, obviously. And this base is going to be a little tough to enter into the back of it unless I can somehow funnel out the monolith or the Royal Champion compartment here. So I think I can try to do that, though, if I enter by this wizard tower. So I'm really trying to get into this ricochet compartment, as I mentioned, so that I could start my roots behind the fire spitter. I'd need a decent funnel from my queen because there's a couple defensive buildings out there, but I think we could do that. So I'm coming in right here, single cycling still. I'm going to get a nice push. This might push me to the monolith, but I don't really care which compartment actually she gets as long as it's one of them, but she isn't into the ricochet cannon right here. I'm going to double cycle, and after this first invis, I'll push to the expo. So there's the 3. Yep, nice to the expo right there. I should be able to get this without another invis. We're going to see. Yeah, I think I got this. So one more shot. Nice. She gets that down really easily. And I don't want to push into the monolith, even though I was thinking about it for a second there, but definitely don't want to do that. So we're going to be entering right here. Queen's going to be popping off onto that to take out, never mind, not the mortar. But yeah, we're going to be entering like this. They're incoming Valks, incoming the Royal Champion, and another Ice Golem like this, surgically deployed on the outside of the base to actually get some value right here. And we're rolling around this one pretty nicely. I'm going to be using this overgrowth, I guess, to try and stop the hook tower since it is pulling something, a Valk, yeah. But I don't want that to pull too many things, so I'm going to be popping that right there. My king Khan is joining with the rest of the troops. I'm actually going to pop the heal tome right here just because everything was really, really low, and there was a lot of red mines going off, so I wanted to make sure my healers didn't die. But that means I won't have it for the town hall, which is usually where I'll use it, so I got to be a little bit careful on this one since I'm not doing this exactly how I usually do. Seeing as my roots are really wrapping around this base slowly, that town hall is just going to get so many shots off on me, so I'm going to overgrowth it again since we're not in a good position to take it down. So that's the only real reason. I don't like to overgrowth the town hall twice, but we're not in a good spot to take it down, so then I think it's a very logical reason to overgrowth it just once again. So my queen's not in a great spot here. She's getting tornadoed around. The town hall is probably about to come visible again. I'm going to get a really nice skelly spell, though, onto the hook tower monolith and then that gear tower when it comes back as well, but we're in a really good position right here. Everything's kind of just rolling around together. A wall break for my king if he ever decides to come around. I'm going to pop the spear just to make sure my RC doesn't run into the monolith right there and that she kind of can get behind the troops again. My king, yep, just kind of going. I'll just freeze right here just for the sake of it to make sure I absolutely crush this base, but yeah, this one's overkill. We did a really good job right there getting a nice funnel from my RC charge, and then yeah, rolled around behind the fire spitters, made them kind of obsolete. And we're absolutely smashing this one, even though we kind of wrapped around the town hall really wide. Just absolutely crashed, and let's keep it going. Alright, double rage core. This is a classic base. And I think what I have to do here is enter into kind of this Royal Champion compartment and roll in through the side. I think that's the best way to approach it. It's a little tough, though. Trying to think of what I really want to do. I think that is what I want to do, though, so I'm going to start right here. Usually the Royal Champion compartment's a little less baited, so that's why I'm entering right over here on this side, even though it's a symmetrical base, and the other side would be the exact same. I'm waiting right here because I'm actually not going to double cycle. I was thinking about it, but because the arch tower just died, it's just the ricochet cannon, and that's not that much damage. So I'm going to be getting my Royal Champion right through this, and I don't know where she goes right here, but probably not into the core. Yeah, so I'll just pull her out. I don't really care about that air defense going down. And yeah, we're going to be entering right here, so I'm already going in. Probably going to get one headhunter. My queen's going to get some decent value. Maybe she could snipe the air sweeper. She didn't, but that's okay. I'll pop that right there just to really set up a nice funnel. Going to get the troop thrower and the Royal Champion right here. I'm hoping my queen dives in with the troops. She hasn't quite yet, but maybe this ice golem can pop for me in a second and get some nice value. I got a poison right here. That crusher mortar is actually a bit of a problem. I should have definitely overgrowthed that just because it's going to be shooting at my troops this entire time. There's the warden ability, mostly for the healers, but also going to help out the troops just before they get a little too weak. So definitely going to be popping that. Going into the air sweeper is not ideal. But you don't really have a choice when there's, you know, just this kind of stuff right here. I'm actually going to hit the air sweeper or the fire spitters once again with the overgrowth, just because they were under the rage spell, and just to kind of negate its effects, I might as well just pop that right there. Gonna get another ice golem in right here just to try and freeze up that whole compartment. I was a little late with it actually because I was gonna try and help the king, but then I realized, you know, my other troops are gonna get there before the king, so that was a little bit my bad. I'm gonna pop the spear right here because I want the RC to turn around and get that whole compartment when it comes back visible. There it is, back visible. I want to make sure, okay, there's my warden, he just died. I was going to see where I could use these invis, so it looks like it's going to be my RC heading to the core is where I'll use these invis. She's teaming up with the queen right here, but my king is rolling around the outside, and he should do really well with the rest of the troops right there. Going to get a barb in to help out. I'm going to pass over this, probably into the crusher mortar compartment. The crusher mortar definitely needs to go down right here, so I'm going to skip over this inferno tower to make sure I get it down. It goes down, yeah, when we crush this base, absolutely awesome. I think the mistake I made earlier on this base is that I didn't get my RC to stay alive very well, and I didn't use those invis very properly, so didn't need too much of a charge. I saved them a little bit for that kind of core right here to really help out, and yeah, we're going to get a nice triple on this one. This one's actually quite overkill, and a very good attack on this kind of tough double rage compartment base. Especially an overgrowth on that crusher earlier would have helped even more, but yeah, just overkilled, really well done. Let's keep it going. Alright, hopping into the next one here. That was a really nice attack on a rage base, and here we go with another one. The fire spitters are not making this very easy by any means. Let's see right here. I'm thinking with all the decorations kind of by this fire spitter, it means there's no traps, and I might be able to get in there, but there might be traps outside since there's no decorations right there. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get in right here. I think if I put my royal champion really far over to this side, she should go to the ricochet cannon next, and that's kind of the entire purpose right here. Is after this I'm going to redirect her into the core. So yeah, she's going to keep going. Single cycling still. She pushes into the rage tower right there. The fox is stuck on the storage, which is just awful for me, to be honest. Keeping the fox alive is so important, so I'm not going to set a funnel at all because, yeah, my fox just went down. Hitting the Giga Bomb even, and I triggered the rage tower, but I won't even take it down. So an awful charge so far on this one, to be honest with you, and we're not set up well at all. I'm going to... I don't even know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to pop the overgrowth right here so I can get in with my roots. This one's probably going to be a fail. I did not set a very good RC charge at all. There's just no pathing. I'm kind of forced to do what I just did right there with my overgrowth, which just isn't ideal, and we're not going to get much value with it, which is, I need a little bit of value with it. So I don't think this one's going to be a very good hit, but obviously I'm going to try my best to get the 3-star, but not too hopeful, to be honest with you. There's the warden ability, and I'm going to pop one more overgrowth, especially onto that hook tower, just kind of negating that whole core. And we're going to start wrapping right here. It's not, awful, but I'm going to get a freeze right there onto the heroes and the monolith, since that's a pretty high damage area. We're rolling around right here. This is a really tough base for it. The RC charges are baited, and I can't really go into the rage towers, so I kind of had to do what I did right there, and it just did not work. But yeah, we got the spears popping right here to try and keep her alive. I'll pop that right there, but this one's not going to be a very good attack at all. Yeah, we're rolling around really slowly. This one's going to be a fail for sure. My king doesn't even have a wall break opportunity to get in right there. Making sure I can try and gather some percent, though. I'm probably going to pop my ability on the bomb tower instead so I can gather some outside buildings, because I wouldn't have done anything in the core. Taking out the mortar right here if I can. Looks like I will. Nice. Dark Elixir storage, or spell factory, so not terrible. Like, it's not a good attack by any means, but that was a really tough base, and my RC did not get any value for me at all. So I knew right away that was going to be a really bad attack. So not good. I obviously can't RC charge these rage compartments, so got to figure out another way to approach that, but that didn't work clearly. Alright, here we go with another base. We got a really weird double invis base, but what I'm noticing is if I can start into this compartment at 6 and trigger the invis, it'll be ready by the time I get there. And I could get a nice freeze on it, maybe an overgrowth kind of this compartment fire spitter. So that's what I'm going to try and do. It'll leave this invis a little exposed, but I'm thinking this will be a pretty short RC charge, so maybe I could go with an invis and skelly to trigger that. So I got a little bit of a decent plan here. To be honest, I think this will work. Just got to execute it. So now we're RC charging. I'm going to continue single cycling right here since I'm out of range of the town hall especially. But I might be fine just to recall my RC right here. Don't really need any more for her. See, I want to make sure I trigger that nice and early, so I'm going to get her to come in right there. Okay, we're coming in. Warden ability, or Warden right here to help out with the Rage Gem. Pushed in really nicely. I should have got an Ice Golem in there, but I didn't in time. Troop Launcher I need to get down. There's the King to help push the Valks inside. There, I'm going to hit the overgrowth just because what I'm really trying to do. I'm actually going to freeze up that gear tower because it's going to do some of the more damage in that core. But I was really trying to make sure I hit the fire spitter that's facing me and the flame spinner. So I think I did a pretty good job at that. I'm going to invis right here just to try and preserve some damage of especially my RC if she was getting targeted. I don't know if she was, but just to make sure. Hopefully we continue to roll around. Nice, that was what I was hoping for. Wasn't sure if it was happening though. I'm going to try and wall break my king in right here. Sorry, I'm talking pretty fast right now to be honest with you, but yeah, I'm going to go for this trigger right here. RC is going to be popping her spears right after this. Right there it goes. And I'll pop the overgrowth right on top of the invis tower just to kind of stop the damage coming in from those things. But now the invis tower will be triggered when I come back, and this one's looking smashed. I just got a really nice push through that first invis towers, and invis tower bases usually are pretty crushed if you know, deal with them properly. But like a rage tower base, it's going to be just so much damage on you. But as long as you can trigger the invis, that's what I mean by dealing with it, you're going to be fine. So usually they're not too tough. I got an invis spell right here to help my royal champion get the town hall. I mean, she's got a little bit other support, but not too much. I guess a lot of giants just walked in, so we'll get that no problem. King's also in there, so yeah, this one's gonna be crushed. And a nice triple, and I think we'll have one more after this, so we got to make sure we use the best of it to try and really help out today on a little bit of a tougher day with these kind of harder double rage bases that I'm definitely gonna need some practice against. But yeah, nice triple right here nonetheless, and let's get into our last one. Alright, final hit right here. Rage Core, but, you know, Poison Tower on the Town Hall. So this Rage Core is pretty tough. I think I'd want to... I'm going to have to Rage, or Overgrowth the Rage Core, and then probably half of it again. So I'm going to try and maybe funnel out this 9 o'clock side, and maybe the Expo would be nice. I want to enter into that Ricochet Cannon, no compartment. So don't want to take out everything in there. Looks like we're going to get a nice RC charge right here. Hopefully we can get into the Expo. I might even redirect since I'm just single cycling right here. I can afford it. I'm not using too many invis, so I think she was naturally going that way, but I'd rather make sure. I'm probably just going to recall her. I did lose the Fox, which sucks a bit, but that's okay. I think I'll get a good Skelly spell on the back end, so I don't want to waste it right here. And the healer's in, so the Queen's going to snipe out the air defense for me, which is awesome. Troop launcher comes in. There's the royal champion to really try and help out right there. I'm going to get a really nice overgrowth right there. I don't think that builder hut will be a problem at all. My king's a little bit maybe early, like because my queen still has to get back in with the troops, but you know, I'm fine to use it right here, just to kind of support the queen and do a double push almost into this town hall. So yeah, we're working right here. Poison tower and town hall just jumps. That's perfect timing for a warden ability. I'm going to pop it right there. Really keeping those healers back up at full health, and like I just kind of mentioned, I'm going to be popping this a little bit to stop some of the damage. I do need to get through some of it, as I've mentioned many times. You can't leave too much damage at one point, so I do got to take out a little bit of it right now. I'm going to invis right here because I think the freeze might end up being a little bit more valuable for the majority of my troops, but I'm not looking amazing right here, to be honest with you. I didn't get a big enough push into the core, but also it was you know, not too small that I did lose a good amount of troops, but didn't get enough to get through. So I don't know if this one's looking like a triple, to be honest with you. My RC is going to die as well, which isn't good. My queen's doing a little bit of work right here, but this is where I need this value to really come in from the Skelly spell. We'll see what it does right here. I got the queen really supporting, but I want that Yeti to do a bit more work. It is going to die though. My queen's only going to get so far right here, and so we're going to get another fail. I really got to practice on these double rage bases because or the big rage core bases or double rage stacked bases, just anything with a lot of damage on these rage towers are really tough to get through with this double overgrowth. So I really got to figure out a way to get through that, because this is another fail today, which is just awful after, you know, a really good 5 days in a row. Getting 3 fails today is a really bad day, to be honest, but it happens, and I like to show you guys even the struggles. But yeah, we definitely got to do something against these rage bases, figure out what I can do to really help against it, because yeah, just another fail right here, and I think I'll exit out of this one, yeah, because I'm not going to get that down. So another fail today. That's going to put me at 36 in the world, which is pretty good, to be honest. I'm very happy with that with this army, but yeah, not a great day on offense. I went 287, so a little disappointed, but hopefully we can get some good defense to go with it. But that'll do it for today's video. And I really hope that, yeah, I'm going to get some practice in. I really hope we can crack these rage bases, because we're going to see a lot of them. They're kind of the only bases that defend right now. But yeah, I got to really practice against them. And yeah, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.